Hey Dell, running back room at the start of the year, you guys were battling a lot of injury. What did you see out of Kendall and Dejan in particular as they grew over the course of the year and really, I think, blossomed into stronger players?
Both of those guys showed a lot of resiliency and a lot of mental and physical toughness to go to rehab daily, try to get their bodies right. As Kendall was injured, Dejan was kind of healthy, and he had to kind of carry the load for our team in the run game and passing situations. And as Kendall got healthy, you kind of see what he has done of late, and very, very happy for him and the success he's had and created for our team. And just to have two seniors to get ready to try to win their 50th game is very special to us as coaches and our players, and that's our main purpose of trying to win this game.
And Dylan Bell is a guy that played running back for you guys in a pinch this year. What did he bring to that room, that position? And is that something, as you guys get better depth next year with the 4 guys you're bringing in, is that something you can still see him continuing to do?
Dylan Bell is very unselfish to play receiver and running back. It was just a situation that was created through injuries. Dylan Bell definitely played position in high school, so it wasn't unfamiliar territory for Dylan. Dylan's very sharp, very smart, has a very good football IQ, and he was able to learn the running back position as well as continue his success at the receiver spot too. So it was very helpful for us to put him in those situations. It also created issues for the defense in my mind, because you got a running back / receiver that could create matchup issues for linebackers, and I think it dictated certain teams' coverages where they were a little bit less man and had to play a lot more zones. So it created favorable run boxes for Dylan.
And then Mike Bobo, first year as offensive coordinator here, was obviously on staff a year ago. How would you assess he did in sort of taking up that role as the offensive coordinator and play caller?
Coach Bobo did a great job. Through a lot of injuries, we dealt with a lot of injuries as a team and as a staff, and it just shows our team's resiliency. Had to be very creative in game planning and try to create ways to get the right guys the ball and put them in the most advantageous situation. I think our staff has great continuity, and Bobo allows us to have our input and share ideas, and ultimately he makes the final decision on what plays are called. Just like our staff cohesion and how we're able to work well with one another.
Yeah, and then the 4 running backs you've been bringing in, the 3 2024 seniors and the Trevor Etienne. I don't know if you can talk about them, but at least those first 3 guys, what are they sort of bringing in? What do you like about them?
Chauncey has a great academic institution that he attends at the Benjamin School. Great family situation. Mom's in the medical field, dad's in the law enforcement field, hard worker. Can't wait to get him on campus. And then Dwight Phillips has a somewhat of a track background. His father, Dwight Phillips Sr., Olympian. Mom ran track in college as well. Both were All-Americans. He's going to provide a lot of speed, and he's has a unique skill set, and we have to figure out how we're going to use that skill set once he gets on campus. And Nate, his mom, Demisha, has instilled a lot of core values in him, along with his father, Nate, and his second father, CJ. Just a great young man with great work ethic, great drive. He's a real dude, I would say that, from a personality standpoint.
Thank you, Dom.
Guys seeing.
Man, you can't ask me about him. Nah, I can't. That's a Coach Smart question.
I did want to ask you, how is Branson doing just as he's coming back from that injury?
Yeah, he's a little overweight right now, but that's to kind of be expected because he can't run yet. But he is doing everything medically and from a rehab standpoint to make himself the best version of himself. So he'll do everything to get back. He may try to do too much because that's the type of person he is. And he was telling me the other day that Man, I feel good. I feel like I can run. I said, man, you better chill out because it's you got to do exactly what the doc and the trainers are telling you to do. So don't rush it. Just
What is it? I'm sorry, Coach.
You
What's
good.
the timetable on Branson as far as when he's going to be able to get on the field, contact, et cetera, et cetera?
I don't know the exact timetable. I do know that he probably will not be involved in spring football practice. So he'll just be basically rehabbing and getting the mental part of the game. So he'll be in every meeting like he has been the entire year. So that part hasn't changed, and he's very motivated. He takes notes like he's the starter right now. So love his work ethic, love his drive, and he has that. I want to say it. Y'all said before, the Nick Chubb kind of mentality. He's just a different guy when it comes to just trying to get back and prepare himself from a physical and mental standpoint.
Are you counting on him for next year?
Always, but I can't predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball, so we have to do what's necessary as an organization to make sure that we're ready for this brutal schedule.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's about as serious of an injury as a running back can have, correct? I mean, the type of injury that he had, or?
Yeah, I'm not a doctor,
Yeah.
so that's above my knowledge, but like I said, I think he's going to do everything he can to put himself in the best situation to be healthy.
Why did you all want Etienne to join the program?
You didn't hear the first time?
What?
You got to ask Coach Smart that, man. Coach Smart, that's a smart Coach Smart question.
In general, what is the importance of having, I mean, because you signed 3 guys, you got 3 coming back, but why do you need a SEC veteran?
I think it just provides leadership. He's played in this league. He's been very productive. I mean, you all watch the tape. He's a very good player.
What did you see from the 2 seniors, Kendall and Dejon Edwards, during their career? Just speak to their
Yeah, one thing that speaks volumes is how they've been resilient. They had plenty of opportunities to turn in the towel and quit, but they worked their butts off. And Kendall, speaking on him first, very talented, great family. Chris and Carla done a great job with Kendall and raising him, and he's got great work ethic as well. But he just battled injuries freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and even this year. Just to have the mental capacity to keep pushing speaks tremendously of his character and his drive. And just having him in the room, he provides a lot of leadership to our younger guys. I know from a physical standpoint, he hasn't been able to be the physical presence or the physical example that you will want from an older player because of his injuries. And when you lose that much time as a running back, you still have to, the reps that you lost, you still got to try to regain those different reps and catching the football, pass protection. So he's done a great job of getting himself back, and he's played very well down the stretch for us. And glad he's almost healthy, but he's still wearing a knee brace even right now. So his hamstrings are taped up, so it's not like he's 100%, but he's pushing through, and that's the life of a running back in our league too.
Dell, Florida State's defensive personnel is going to be in the game is going to be very different than what you've seen on film. What's the challenges, or what's kind of how does that change your preparation?
Well, I don't think it's going to be different. I mean, they're a 4-down structure. They're a quarters-based team. They're going to play man-to-man. I mean, the defense coordinator's the same. They still got the same coaches, so they're going to play their butts off, and they're going to do what they've done all year. We're expecting nothing but the best from Florida State, but we're going to provide our best effort as well. So we're just going to try to send our seniors out the right way, try to get them the 50th win of their career, and that'll mark a historical moment for that class. And that's our purpose for being here.
Not to compare cultures, Florida State's obviously had a bunch of opt-outs. Even in your room alone, you have 2 seniors that are playing in this quote-unquote meaningless bowl game. What has been the importance, or what has been the message to get your guys to stay bought into this football game?
I wouldn't call it a meaningless bowl game. Over the last 7 years, we've been in a New Year's Six bowl, which is a tremendous feat, and it speaks volumes of Coach Smart's leadership and the players that have been involved in that streak. And it speaks volumes for the kids that's playing in the game. They love one another. They got connection, and they want to go out winners, and that's what we demand out of this program. A lot of the guys we've recruited, that's what we look for. You gotta want to play, you gotta embrace the grind, you gotta have a different mindset when you're part of our program and under Coach Smart's leadership and the standard that he demands, and you know what you're getting yourself into. If you're healthy, then the expectation is for you to play. If you're not healthy, then you got to rehab and take your time, and it's a next man up mentality.
I've heard Coach Smart talk about, prerequisite number one is for the love of football. You got to love football to be around Georgia. How do y'all test that? How do y'all look for that in players?
Yeah, I think when you're in the recruiting process, I try to make sure I get to practices to evaluate, how they love football. In a lot of instances, guys will have trainers. So that is another example of a kid going above and beyond the structured time of just working on their craft. I don't think you can really test it. Some high school programs are a lot different than others. So you know what you're kind of getting. An example, we're in Miami, James Cook. Miami Central practices are bloodbaths. So I knew exactly what kind of work ethic, the verbal abuse, so to speak, that was received. So you could kind of say he's going to be fine in our program. And in the other programs, you can kind of see the standards not as great, and things aren't emphasized as much as they're going to be in our program. So it's just more so getting to know the kid, getting to know the parents, trying to see how they're wired, so to speak, and it's just a best guess estimate, but we do try to put our due diligence in observing the things, not from a physical standpoint. The physical part is what it is, but I just think it's your mindset and how much you love work, hard, resiliency, things that when things happen negatively, how do you respond to that? And going to practices and games, I think, allows us opportunities as coaches to evaluate that part of the kid.
The three freshmen you guys are adding, what stands out to you about those guys and what you're adding?
Three different guys. I wish they were all here now, but they're not. But they're three different backs. I think you got one that has more power, one that's elite speed, and then you have one that's a combination of both and can do everything. So they're going to definitely play off one another in their skill sets, and then it's just my job to get the pass protection and pass routes and all the volume that's kind of have to be acquired in our offense to be successful.
Dell, I think the last few years we've been asking about trying to recruit running backs in an offense that's passing more in a world that's passing more. But is college football cyclical in that, like, I'm starting to see more NFL college teams playing too high safety? And is this going to come back, you think, or are we starting to enter a zone where the running back and the running game is going to come back?
I think we run the ball a lot. I don't think that you're not going to see the I formation come back with a true fullback or a wishbone triple option. I don't think that's going to come back at all. I think the more of the spread offense is duplicated in high schools, and that's kind of what they're accustomed to. So you're kind of a byproduct of that. I think you see that in the NFL as well now. You're seeing more spread teams in college, and that's kind of correlating to that league as well. You don't see a lot of NFL teams go under center.
I don't mean that. Snap. I mean like the value of physical football and running backs.
Yeah, I think you got to have physical football and you got to have good physical running backs. That's never going to stop in my mind. I don't think that value has deteriorated at all. I do think if you have a back that doesn't have to leave the field and he can run in between the tackles, he can be effective in the passing game. He doesn't have to come out on third downs because he's big enough and physical enough to pick up blitzes. Then you got what you want as a complete back. But that's why you got different flavors and different variations now from our standpoint. I think in the pros as well, where you see multiple backs that are playing for teams because of the brutalness of the position. I mean, that's probably the hardest position from a physical pounding that you can take than any other position on the field in my mind.
Are those guys more common than maybe like unicorn type tight ends like Bowers and Washington? Can you find more running backs?
Yeah, every team in America has one, and some go unnoticed, and some have a lot of fanfare. So, talent is talent, and you got to try to pick out what's important from a running back position, and just make sure they got the right mindset to be as successful as possible.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you, Coach.